Hey, YouTube. There's a question that everybody wants to know. And that question is, where's Mitch? You know, right now, nobody's hearing from Mitch. There's a few people who said, hey, Mitch is good. He's not dead. I spoke to him today and he said hi, basically. And right now, it's like people are getting tired. It's kind of questionable because he's been out for so long and nobody is really. They can post a picture, but a picture, it could be old, it could be AI generated. But to actually see him having a conversation or having a conversation on video or something would be awesome. So the people are getting tired. And right now, Kentucky's governor, Andy Beshear, is basically demanding that Mitch McConnell prove that he can still serve in the Senate or just resign. And basically, the GOP is everything is falling apart, really. You just lost Lindsey Graham, which was basically unexpected, totally. I actually, well, we don't even know if Mitch is dead, but I thought you would hear that news before you would hear anybody else die. But right now, they're tired and they want Mitch to be able to prove that he can still serve as a senator. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at this and see what they're trying to say.
The governor of Kentucky, Andy Beshear, Democrat, has issued this ultimatum to 84-year-old Republican Senator Mitch McConnell, who, as you may know, has not been seen in public since he was hospitalized 44 days ago. Quote, verbally address the people of Kentucky and provide proof of your capacity to serve or resign. The Democratic governor gave that ultimatum in a letter addressed to McConnell, quote, under the assumption he is capable of reading and responding verbally and not incapacitated by means of consciousness or cognition. Beshear also repeated his message on camera today.
All I'm asking for, and the people of Kentucky are asking for, is transparency and honesty, that Senator McConnell still has the capacity to serve. And I hope he does. I wish him well. I hope his health is improving. But if he can have a 17 minutes conversation with his protege, he can call into any of your news stations for 3. All we're asking is just a little bit of proof. We have seen rampant speculation across social media and elsewhere. It could all be fully avoided, and it's all within Senator McConnell's power. But because he won't do that, the fact is that we don't know.
Beshear.
I think that's important. And, basically, Democrats should really band together and try to find this out because it's very important. And this is what you should do. Kick the Republicans while they're down. Take advantage because they would definitely want to know if it was a Democrat. And they would definitely be gunning for that seat. So, right now, people are looking at Democrats as the party that don't fight back, and people want people who's gonna fight, and else Donald Trump wouldn't be where he was today, basically, because they didn't do what was needed when they had time to do a lot of things. They left them. They kept everything. We don't need to do that now because they never thought they would have a Donald Trump. And now they got a Donald Trump. All the things they should have done, they probably wish they did, because definitely the Supreme Court would not be what it is today if everything went, if Democrats just stood for something. But I digress. Let's get back to the topic at hand.
Sent a copy of the letter to Senate Majority Leader John Thune urging him to investigate McConnell's condition. This is happening because, apart from a few Republicans in McConnell's orbit, no one, not even his constituents, has heard from McConnell since he was taken to the hospital more than 6 weeks ago. His office has released 2 photos of him spying next to his wife, as you see there, those 2. There's been no other communication from him and no transparency about his prognosis. Barbara Boxer is a former Democratic senator from California.
You basically are hearing crickets. Crickets. Nobody's saying anything. And you're telling me only 2 pictures? How about 5 pictures per week? That's what I would be wanting. Like different clothes, every picture. Yeah, I think the people deserve that. That's what they need to be doing. Have them send a picture every day. If you're not going to put him on video, have him talk, ensure that he can still lead, give us a picture every day with him in different clothes. Something. Not just a gown. Let's see it. Or show us a picture every day. That's not even asking too much.
And she joins me now. And obviously, you served in the Senate alongside Mitch McConnell. This is a very strange situation. What do you make of it all?
It's bizarre, and there's something wrong with the Senate. It's dysfunctional that they're not figuring this out. The Constitution says we're in charge of the rules surrounding our own members. And I do want to say this. I don't want people to think I'm being partisan. When Senator Feinstein was ill and she had missed so many votes, I called her and I said, Diane, please, you've got such a wonderful record. You shouldn't stay there. I left. It's great. You can get to speak. But she was angry at me. So there's a certain thing that's happening here. Now, remember, in the Senate, the median age is 65. That means half of them are less than 65 and half of them are older than 65. So this is an issue that has to be addressed. The last thing I'll say here to you is this. We get elected by the people. The people are the boss. I think Andy Bashir is showing great restraint and respect in what he's saying. And basically, we work for the federal government. So today I looked at the rules for a normal federal employee, quote unquote. I say normal, not elected. Right. They get 13 days a year of paid leave. 13 days, you can carry it over, but you have to discuss it with, HR. This is wrong. And Mitch McConnell,
they need to revamp so many things when it comes to the government. So many things, that they definitely need to change the age and put a limit to it. They need to stop people from being able to buy stocks when you're an elected official, all of that stuff. Like, they need to do something. And quite a few more things, but I don't have time to go through all of that. But I hope from this point on, a lot of things are going to start changing. We need some change. We definitely need some Obama change right now. You know what I'm saying? We need change. Maybe we need to bring back, I'm not going to say that because then, Trump will have some ideas of coming back for a third. But
I looked it up back in 2023, where he missed 29 votes due to his fall. 2024, it continued. He missed 31 votes. 2025, 73 votes. And now in 2026, he's missed 27% of votes, 56 votes. So this is wrong.
It's definitely wrong. How do you represent your people if you're not there? Like, what's going on? That's crazy. Is it because they're in majority that they figure, okay, so we're majority, even if he's missing, Kentucky gonna be okay? You still need to represent where you're from, no matter what. So a lot of these things need to change, but it's good that this is happening, especially on the GOP side, because now you can basically use this as an example to jump on some of these topics and situations that need to be addressed.
You know, it's hard. You know, we talked about Tom Keene, who's a member of the House Republican incumbent who disappeared for a while, and he kept saying, "I'll let you know when I come back." And we talked about this. He said, you know, you got to be transparent. And obviously, you know, health issues can happen to anyone at any age, right? There's obviously an age component to all this, it being the Senate, but it can happen to anyone at any age. And it's no one loves to talk about what's going on with their health, particularly if they're, you know, in a rehab facility. But I mean, the general thing here that you do need some disclosure and transparency. It's weird how much that seems to have been abandoned. Like, it is, like, people do have to say what's up with what their health.
It's not weird. Not with Trump. Like, ever since Trump been here, we haven't had any transparency, no accountability, none of that stuff.
The condition is when they are a publicly elected leader who currently does not have the capacity to represent the voters of Kentucky.
You have to tell your boss what's wrong. If you're in the private sector and you don't show up, right, day after day after day, you're not going to take a photo. If you're a boss, you're going to take a photo from the husband or wife of the person you need.
That's facts. That's definitely facts. And that's why when it comes to the Senate and these representatives for these states, we definitely need some type of limitations to certain things because they get away with murder. Like, a federal employee will not be able to do all these things that they do. And they make so much money. And they play with our lives that, like, it's not even important. That's the craziest thing. They play with our lives because the truth is, you might represent a majority of the voters that voted for you, but you're also representing the people who didn't vote for you, and that can affect their life.
Work. This is so obvious. And I think, I was chair of the ethics committee for a long time. It's a very bipartisan place. They ought to take a look at this. Is it really ethical what's happening? I don't think it is. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And I think you start by looking at how most federal employees are treated and take it from there.
We should also know.
You see what I'm talking about? That's exactly what I'm saying. And that includes the pay. That includes the pay. They make it like they don't make a lot of money. And right now, a lot of them are in stocks and all of that stuff, investments like that. So
that in his long career, Mitch McConnell has voted against paid leave, numerous times, I think dozens of times, including, bills that would provide paid leave for 6 weeks for everyone in the country, things like that. There is a wrinkle here that I want to get your feedback on too, because I've seen people, there's been some sort of anger directed at Beshear that he's not doing more. But in terms of how this cashes out in a partisan sense, right now, you have a pretty narrow Republican majority, and one of those senators is occupying one of those positions and can't make any votes, which is not the worst thing for Democrats, which is something that Governor Beshear actually pointed out today. Take a listen.
A lot of those that are pushing this are online and I think are under the impression that a Democrat in Kentucky might be able to win that election. It's been since 1992 that we have had a Democratic senator in Kentucky. A vacancy, not having Mitch McConnell show up isn't necessarily a bad thing.
So, there is a degree in sheer partisan terms that this does hamstring an already thin Republican majority.
Governor Beshear is being so honest. Another governor might sort of dance around that, and I so appreciate it. But the people who are calling for him to do more, he's not a grandstander. He shouldn't be. He knows what the law is. And by the way, the law in Kentucky is extremely confusing, as I'm sure you know, because the Constitution says, right, the governor appoints, but a law passed said, no, the governor doesn't appoint, and it is a Republican state. So it's, be careful what you wish for on either side. But the point is, it's bigger than Mitch McConnell. I know that everyone's focused here, but it's about the Senate. It's about the House. They had a woman, a congresswoman, who...
These guys, I'm sorry, that came out. I wasn't even saying whatever it sounded like to me. I hope that's not what it sounded like to you. But, you got these guys on wheelchairs, and I'm not discriminating against handicap or anything. And then you got them in the electric wheelchairs or electric chairs or electric mobile, whatever they are. But that's why there needs to be age limits. These guys need to be on vacations. They need to be on cruises, relaxing, drinking pina coladas or daiquiris and just relaxing. Because you need people who can make decisions, who can get around, go talk to the people, who can, have stamina to hold rallies, to hold town halls where you can talk to the people so you can find out what they need. But can you imagine somebody struggling to walk, travel, you know, going to see the people that you represent in all different counties, all across the state? How can you do that when you're barely even able to walk and you're in a wheelchair, probably walking with a walker? Like that's not feasible. That should not be accepted. So they need to make a change.
Was in a nursing home for months. She got paid. She had dementia.
Yes.
I mean, this is, I'm not a comedian, but, leads itself into that direction. And when Congressman King came back, frankly, I thought he missed the mark. He should have apologized. He didn't apologize. And so I think the rules have to change. People aren't going to stand for it.
I think you're probably right about that. We're going to see how this continues to play out. Barbara Boxer, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a must. It's not even a do we. No, it's a must. All this stuff needs to change. There needs to be a lot of change, especially with what's happened in the past year with our president, all the things that have happened. We need change. We need things to be clarified. A lot of things need to be clarified because right now things are looking bad for a lot of people and we don't have representation. We don't have the right representation. And now we have a president who's trying to undercut and sow bad information. He's trying to control the narrative. He's trying to basically lie about anything to make sure that the GOP gets their way and stay in charge. And I think that's a lot of us who don't want that. So they're scared to be in a minority. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the alert button for any notifications to see when we put out a new video. Have a good night.